And I love the fact that we start both last week and this week by laughing, which is fantastic. So a friend of mine was listened to the last week's podcast, and he said we kind of jumped into the deep end with just a topic that we both ended up discussing. And he was really a little bit more curious about us and where we'd come from and what our background was. So just like, I think as a history, which I don't think a lot of people know, is that I studied coding in school. I did the little logo turtle, and I had to make it, I know I've told you all this, but I had to make it draw a truck for our final exam.
Right.
And then straight from there, I went into varsity and I did programming and computer science there. And I loved it, but I only did a year at Wits University up in Joburg. Then I started working at MultiChoice, MNet. And I was doing coding and programming. And as they took me on a temp basis, and one of the things that they said was that if I wanted to become permanent, I had to do this entry course for Van Zyl and Pritchard, which was a COBOL programming course. So it was really funny. I got there late for the exam, and I rushed in looking a little windswept, and this guy looked at me as though to say, "You're in the wrong place."
What are you doing here, chick?
Yeah. I'm like, "Are you sure you've got the right place?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do. This is the
talk about stereotype."
Totally. He said, yes, not a problem. The others had already been busy for like 15 minutes. I sat down, I did the test, and I was finished before everyone else. And I kind of looked around, checked my answers again, went and I handed it in. And you know that look that somebody gets where they're like, oh, shame.
Shame. Did you give him a shame look back?
And I kind of just, I was young. I didn't know quite what I was doing. And next thing you know, it was the highest mark that they had in like 3 years. So they actually asked me if I was going to this was an entrance exam to do the actual course, the whole programming course. They asked me if I was going to be doing it. I said, no, I couldn't afford it. So they said I could lecture after doing the course and I could help mark exam papers.
So cool, yeah.
So I did the first year, and then I helped mark papers the following year. And then the year after that, I lectured for a year. I lectured the first year of COBOL programming.
Amazing.
So I've got a lot of programming background.
A hell of a lot, yeah.
And I was the one that people used to call to, how do you do this in DOS? Because I still come from DOS days. And I remember having a Texas Instruments at home when I was younger and having to sit all night and code that because there was no save function. So you coded it, you played whatever you coded, and then when you turned it off, everything disappeared. So
what would the kids do of today if they couldn't save or auto-save? Imagine.
How many people are freaked out? So I've come from not being able to save to having to program everything and put them onto, it was these really hard, heavy disks that you had to go and load on the mainframe. And then from there, I slowly started working in Excel and Word, and I used to teach people how to use Excel and Word because I think I've always had a curious brain. So part of me has always been curious around how does this work? What do these functions do? What does this do? So when it comes, somebody says, oh, how, can you do this? And I'm like, yes, you go here and you do this and you do that. So I've always been interested in helping people, which is why when I came down to Cape Town, I came down in 1999 with my 3-year-old son, and we ended up living in this one-roomed apartment in Rondebosch, and I started working at MWeb. They gave me a call 2 weeks after I arrived and said, oh, we saw you up at MultiChoice. Let us know when you're in Cape Town. And I'm like, well, I'm in Cape Town now. And they said, come in for it was the satellite division of MWeb that hadn't yet been released. Yeah. And they said, by all means, go ahead, play. You can't break anything.
Yes.
And I brought it down. I brought the head end down in Joburg for 2 days. It was quite funny. But then
I'm going to show you. Well, I can bring it down.
I didn't mean to. I just, I was curious. So I started going into the different options.
But yeah, it's most probably good for them to see that it's like, hello, there's a bit of a flaw in your system,
So then I actually helped put the manual together on how to install it.
Yeah.
I took the screenshots, put it together,
Yeah.
the book that went along, because it was these big satellite cards that had to be installed in people's machines.
Yeah, no, I mean,
It was a
we
whole
can't
different
even
time.
imagine
No.
now how.
And so there was 2 little call centers, and I used to run both of them, the sales call center and the support call center. So we used to sit there Monday to Friday and try and sell these satellite cards, because if at MWeb, I've said names, so maybe I'm going to have to bleep those out, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Because we were an ISP, everybody was trying to get connected, and that's the time when you had to do dial-up and when you had to
Yes.
wait for
I remember those days. Oh my God, it was painful.
Yes.
I can hear that tone.
Yes. There was a lady who was living in Kimberley who kept phoning in and saying that the discs that we kept sending her weren't working. And eventually somebody from our offices actually drove through with a new set of discs to see what she was doing. I think she'd gone through 4 different discs. And we found out that she was getting the CD and she was cutting the edges off.
That is classic. It's like feeding your mouse.
So there's so many of these like experiences that I've had where somebody just needs to be walked through properly.
Yes.
And each one of the different companies that I've worked in, I've always been in the IT support space and the IT help space. And I find that just talking to somebody on their level and making it a little bit easier makes them more receptive to being helped.
Yeah, because I mean, it is like a different language, also the whole tech space.
Totally.
You know, like, I mean, when we got Bluetooth and all of that, like, blue what? And like, where's like the tooth blue? Like, you know, if you don't know, I mean, if you told somebody from, I don't know, 1900 about a Bluetooth, they would be like, what?
So the funny thing is that the Bluetooth is a ruin that comes from Vikings.
Exactly.
So that the Vikings would know.
Yes, but like, I know that and you know that, but you know, in between. So very few people do know that, but yes.
So I've been with service desks and help desks along the way, and it's been really interesting to watch how people respond to different ways. You'll find the techie guy who sits on the service desk and he's like, yeah, can I help you? Yeah, you click this button, you do this, you know. And the person doesn't feel, they've been helped, but they don't feel empowered. They don't.
Yeah, but also they kind of feel like, they feel stupid.
Yeah, and they feel like it's been a wasted time for somebody else.
Yeah, and it's like you say, it's really important to be able to tune into that person's level.
Yes.
Without making them feel stupid, and like then empowering them, because something will click and then they'll go, oh yeah, I'll do that again, you know, this is great.
So what's interesting is that one of the presentations, one of the training courses that I used to give at my old company was about onboarding. So when people would get, and at that point everybody was getting laptops because it was after COVID, and there were so many laptops that were getting broken. People would they were holding it by the screen, they were dropping it, it was being bumped.
Wow.
And I had to explain to people that laptops are not like are not like cell phones.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people it's just a bigger cell phone. It's as robust, and we drop our phone and sometimes it breaks, but most often it doesn't. But a laptop is fragile.
Yeah.
A laptop will break. So I had to give them the example of a laptop is supposed to last you 5 to 7 years.
Yes.
And a cell phone's only going to last you 2 years. But a cell phone is built so that it can be in your pocket.
Yeah.
It can be in hot spaces. I had to explain about putting the laptop exhaust fan onto blankets because people's laptops were overheating. There's all these things that nobody explains when it comes to using tech, when it comes to...
And nobody reads it either because it is mentioned somewhere.
But the thing is that they write it in such a tiny font.
Tiny, yeah,
So
because they want you to go and buy a new one very quickly.
There's always a, what do they call it? Planned obsolescence, that's the word. So through all of this, I get a real joy out of seeing someone realize how to work with something, or realize that they're actually capable of sorting something out themselves, or they're capable of doing this or fixing it again if it happens, or explaining to somebody else when it comes to Excel formulas. Oh, this is what VLOOKUP does, but you need to sort it like this. And once you've got that, then you can do a whole bunch. Oh, did you see? And this is how you do VLOOKUP. And then they feel like they are the guru for that.
Yeah.
Which for me is incredibly satisfying.
I
find that so...
But it's so amazing to have these nifty little like tricks, because like suddenly your whole work environment becomes so much easier.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And the thing is, people don't know what they don't know. IT, I remember seeing a diagram of all the different IT spaces a couple of years ago. And it blew my mind how big the IT space is.
Because it's not see if you can find that again. That sounds interesting.
Because it's not just hardware or security or data.
No, it's
There's
vast.
software and support and front end and back end and networks and firewalls. There's so many different components.
Yeah.
And each one of them is a speciality and a niche on its own. It used to be when you did support, you did all of the support. Now you can't do that anymore.
No, it's way too specialized.
And that's why nobody can know everything about IT.
No.
And when somebody sits there and they know their sphere of IT, shame, I'll never forget that we had this the sweet little girl that was a developer that came back into the office after COVID. And she went and she sat at her desk and she sat for like a good hour before she came over. Now she knows her work. She was really good at what she does. She came over and she's like, I can't get onto the network. She just couldn't get onto the network. She was trying to VPN in while she was already inside the network. And she couldn't, because she was so much in the mindset of doing it from home and she couldn't figure it out. So she knows her development area really, really well. But when it comes to networking and VPNs and firewalls and no, that wasn't her area of expertise. So
it's almost like, I mean, silly example, but it's like if you're like really good at baking, doesn't necessarily mean you're really good at cooking. That's like two different things, but they're both like food. You know?
Exactly. You do it on a stove.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose like Walter White could also be good at cooking. Same utensils, different ingredients.
This is good old Walter White.
So this is one of the reasons why I'm really passionate about getting into this space, because there's a lot of people who are trying. It's almost like they're trying really hard to create this AI elite, almost like they need to be indispensable because they know everything about it. And I feel that that's unnecessary. If everybody can use AI and everybody's on the same page, it makes it a lot easier for everyone to get to progress together. Because if you're having to explain, how an Excel cell works to somebody whilst there's all of this other technology and everything else that they have to learn, it's going to hold everybody back. So the minute everybody can get up to the same level of competence,
either it's going to hold everybody back, or it's really going to cause this massive divide, rift.
See, the divide, and this is where I get a little bit irritated with the tech bros. Because they want to make it seem as though they're indispensable. They know what's going on.
But I guess maybe because they also feel a little bit threatened by the automation of AI or through AI. You know what I mean? It's like there's this like fine balance. Because they're going to have to find new niches for themselves.
Absolutely. And I also think that AI space is changing so quickly,
flipping rapidly.
Every week I wake up and there's another new article. Oh, guess what? Google just dropped. Guess what? Anthropic just dropped. Guess what?
I know. I mean, just in my current work, like every system that I work with now, we've got here a new AI tool and here and this and whatever. And I'm kind of like, okay, guys, so we're trying to keep up, I don't even have time to try it all,
Yep.
Yeah.
And the thing is, everybody thinks that putting AI into their system is the next best thing to slice bread. And it's not necessarily. A lot of companies know that they need to keep up with AI, but they're rushing and they're putting it into, front end on the website. They've got an AI chatbot and they think that they've got an AI in, or they've put AI in in their knowledge management system and they've just put it in as an advanced search assistant. They're not really making use of like we spoke about Second Brain last week. It needs to understand what it is that you're putting in and what it is that you need to do. So it actually needs to understand a whole bunch of different instructions and then give it back to you properly. Not just, hi, I'm looking for
instructions and connections. And totally.
Yes. So human beings, this is where we are amazing. We can see patterns when it's all in front of us.
Yeah.
But the minute it's scattered, the minute it's last week and last month and 6 weeks ago and 6 months ago, we lose that thread.
Yes.
And we're not able to keep it. This is where AI is really, really good. If I was to go and try and remember the last time my uncle was really sick and what he was sick with and all of that, I'd probably say, roughly, and I'd get it roughly right, but I wouldn't be able to tell you details. And I wouldn't be able to tie what he had last year to this year but if I was to upload all of his scripts, for example, into an AI and say, please let me know if there's any sort of pattern, and they'll say, it could pick up that, every summer he tends to have a problem with his kidneys, so maybe watch his water intake when it comes to summer, and it's able to see the patterns that we can't.
It's so funny, as you are talking, I'm going, yeah, I totally get that. I think it's great. And then I'm hearing the doctors go, no, this is they're doing our job. And then I'm hearing somebody else going, they're doing our job. And I think it's also part of the education is also making those professions understand that nobody's actually taking away from them.
Totally.
It's about supporting them.
Yes.
And working more smart.
A doctor doesn't have the time or the resources to sit with all of their patient files and look back on them over the past year, 2 years and go, what's the pattern?
Yeah.
He doesn't have time. And who's going to pay him to do that?
The pattern may not actually be relevant,
Completely.
but it's still so cool if it's shown, because then the doctor can say, let me have a look. Let me look deeper. What else is going on?
Yep.
You know?
100%.
So, yeah, I get it.
And the other thing is that if he's got a couple of different patients and he at a certain time had to prescribe the same kind of medicine to them, or his locums had to prescribe, because he's not going to go and check up on what he's locums, but you feed it all into the same database because they were all on the same thing, and they suddenly go, we're all prescribing the same medicine for people who are coming from the same area. Maybe there's something bigger going on. But again, no one's going to go and sit and work through these folders to try and make these correlations because they don't have the time.
No, that's just,
But you've got this assistant.
As it is, people really suck in keeping database nice and clean. It's I get it.
So this is one of the things that's so nice about AI. You can say, for example, I'm busy building a second brain for my son. And I can say to it, please export the contents of what I need you to in this format. I want it in a JSON format. I want it without any frills or whatever. I want to be able to import it directly in. And it'll strip it. It'll make it exactly what I'm looking for. If I was to ask for if I put in a whole bunch of information, Notebook LM's really good at that. You put in all of the documents in that you want in there, and you say, strip out all the information for... One of my clients did this. He put in all of his his council payments in over the past 2 years. And he noticed that there was a huge jump the 1 month that didn't come down in the following months. He was expecting it to come down in terms of the cost, even though the water usage had come down. And the AI was able to pick it up for him. And he suddenly went, okay.
Brilliant.
Then he was able to query it. And
so in terms of, for example, feeding that, is that a scan? Do you scan the document? It's not like you manually have to put in the numbers.
No. You can scan a PDF.
And it reads all the info from there.
So OCR has been around for about 10 years, and that's optical character recognition.
Yes.
Now, that's been really bad way back when, and it's gotten so much better.
It's quite amazing. That's the app that I use for, food tracking.
Yes.
I actually can't believe how when you scan a food that's not in there, how it puts it together.
Yeah.
I love it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now you can actually, you see me taking notes every weekend.
Yeah.
I'm able to take that, turn it into a PDF, upload it into an AI, and say, can you extract the themes that I was working with during this workshop, for example? And it'll extract all the themes from me. It's able to read the words. It's able to understand what it is that I'm trying, and the arrows and the little diagrams that I drew. It's able to understand all of that and put it all together. And then if I upload the workshops that I've been doing over a year, and I say, what's the common theme for 2025? And they'll say, oh, you were really focused on this, or you migrated from feeling like this to feeling more empowered to feeling like determined.
And that'll be interesting for you to actually like go like, yeah, no shit, that's right.
Yep.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. So it's been a very interesting journey with AI. And that's one of the things that I'd love other people to experience.
Yeah.
I find
like AI is so much more than just like a fancy search engine. Like I meet so many people now that say, like when I kind of try and tell them what we do, they go like, oh no, but I know AI. And all they do is they read the first search that comes up, which is the AI one, the Google, and I'm like, really guys? And then you're like, okay, are you gonna gently explain this now? Or are you gonna just leave them in their bubble until it bursts?
That's the one thing that frustrates me so much, is that they're using it as a Google replacement and they think they've got it. They think that they know.
I mean, they don't even like scroll down to see the other stuff.
And I think one of the biggest things that worries me is that people don't understand the share buttons and how dangerous it is to push those share buttons. The security, you could put anything in there, and the minute that you click that share button, that information is available on the web. And that's scary stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to use AI to politely write a letter because your neighbor has been keeping you up in the middle of the night with their dog barking, and you go and you put details and times and addresses and things like that, that's dangerous information that you suddenly made available because you suddenly want to share it with your partner, and you say, is this okay for me to be able to send? But now that you've shared it, it's on the internet, and that's scary stuff. And a lot of people don't understand.
No, they don't understand.
And it's in all of the different tools. All of the different tools have got the same thing. They do not let you, okay, I only want to share it with Tamina. I'm not going to share it with anybody else. They don't do that. They have.
And in a way, I understand why. Like, I get it.
Of course.
Like, I get it because they're also trying to, gather information. But, like, especially those people that are worried about the dangers of AI. Shouldn't be doing this and should be educating themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, they should know everything, not just the bad, but also the good and like the in between and everything. You know, but like everything.
Yeah. And that's what worries me, is that there's so many people out there who think they know AI, but they know the front end. They know how to get there.
I don't even think they know the front end. They must really know like the tiny tip of the iceberg. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, because it goes way beyond that.
Absolutely.
Way beyond.
And the minute that, through how many of our clients have we spoken to, and they've turned around and they've gone, oh, it's so amazing. Look at what I've been able to do. Look at what I've been able to. It turns from, yes, I use it as a Google search engine, to, oh my goodness, this has helped me plan my entire week. So.
Yeah, like just make my life easier. Like I really love, like you were asking earlier about like the passion and that, like I love the organizing side of that, because like I can see it. Like I love to organize things and systems, and like I understand how systems work when you give it to me, or I can tell you it needs to do this and that. I may not necessarily be able to code it, but I can say, okay, it needs to do this and this and this and that, and then it needs to, little bit like a second brain, I guess,
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's where AI becomes really powerful, is if you give it things to make decisions about. If you've got an end-to-end workflow, that's where your Zapiers and your Make.com and all of that become really powerful, is if you set up workflows. On a Monday morning, I want you to search the web, but I want you to pick out the top 3 most interesting articles about, and these are my niche. Now, I know you get a lot of services that can do that you sign up to and they'll deliver that to you. But you've got one tool already that you're using for all these different things. And you can use it to say, on a Friday afternoon, I want to generate social media posts, and I want for Facebook and for Twitter and for or X and Instagram, and I want it to be about the topic that that you need to ask me for the topic, and then give me ideas or articles that I can link to, and it can go and it can make a decision. Say, for example, I wanted it about like lemon trees. I could go and I could ask it to go and find all the articles about lemon trees. I could go read the articles and say, right, I want to create a LinkedIn post, an Instagram post. And you work from there. And if you've got that set up to automate, every Friday afternoon, you're going to sit there and you're going to go, okay, it's going to give me about cherry and chocolate ice cream, or it's going to give to me about, bird feeding. It's going to give me all of these different topics that I then can peruse, rather than having to go into Google search. Okay, what looks like it's good? Maybe I should read this one. Okay,
it does the whole initial.
It does all the deciding for you. It finds the information based on what it is that you're looking for, makes a decision about whether or not that's something that aligns with everything else that you've put in, and then brings it back to you.
I would imagine though that there's people that don't trust that.
Of course not.
Like, they kind of go like, not so sure,
Totally. But that's why you ask for 3 different options.
Yeah.
You don't just ask for one. But also, how long has it taken us to trust everything on the internet?
Exactly.
We don't trust everything on the internet.
But you shouldn't. I mean, we still have a brain, and we still need to discern, is this fake or is this real?
Yeah. That's why if you get given 3 articles, you read 3 articles, of those one is fake, you've still got 2 valuable articles, rather than having to wade through 10.
And you'll be surprised how many people do not see the AI fakes, in inverted commas. They just very happily share them on WhatsApp and wherever. And those are the same people that use AI as just a fancy search engine, And I go so there's a lot of educating to be done.
There's a way now where a lot of people are saying, if you look at an image and you don't know whether it's AI or not, if you put it into a program like Photoshop, or a Photoshop alternative like GIMP, or even just a normal paint application, and you turn the contrast and the saturation and the right up, you'll see a lot of artifacts in the background. So when it's an actual picture, you'll see like maybe 1 or 2 artifacts about like where the dark white hits the light white. In AI, because it builds pictures up pixel by pixel, you see artifact all over the place. Like the whole thing is covered in artifact. So they're starting to do that.
That would be a cool post for us to
do. Yeah. That would be, if I was to show you like a picture, and this is
a cool blog.
Those are the kinds of things that people are coming up with, these creative ideas. Like this is what people are coming up with, and that's what makes it so exciting. Is that if I find something like that out, I want to be able to like share it with people and say, you want to check whether a picture is fake or not? This is how you can try. It's not going to work for too long, because at some point AI is going to go in and go, okay, that's how you're reading it, so I'm going to go and then smooth it all out and I'm going to make it better. But for now, it's going to work.
Yeah.
And again, if it creates a picture and you like it and you're going to just use it because you want a nice picture background on your phone.
But like Kim, anything changes. I mean, when we used to just when we had overhead projectors in school, I mean, you could shimmy anything, you just find a way, or the photostat machine, or you had to we had to put coins in to do photostats in the library for when we had projects. And then if you didn't, and then they changed to cards.
Yeah.
And there was a way to shimmy the coin slot, and there was a way to shimmy and you just had to know how.
Yes. Yeah.
There's always a way.
Yeah. And I think this is one of the things that I'm trying to get across to people, is that you're never going to be fully protected from everything.
Yeah.
And using your brain to both use AI and be more careful about what it is that you're looking at, I think is my biggest passion.
I've been thinking about this a lot, because so many people are scared of AI in general. I'm saying it very widely now. So I've been thinking a lot about it, but I really feel that if you get the balance right, it affords the individual a much healthier work-life balance.
Absolutely.
But I also think that there needs to, the younger generations, they kind of maybe understand it better, but like our generation, we still like think, no, we have to work really hard like to, get anywhere. And I think there is something to be said for that,
Look,
like, why not finish an hour earlier and be done with it and not have a stressful afternoon and then get home and then feed the kids or whatever it is that you have to do, you know?
It can definitely help with productivity. It's just, you've got to watch what it gives you.
Yes.
And you've got to watch how you prompt it.
Yeah,
You've got to make sure. And that's why I feel our courses empower people so that they can do the right prompting. They can have it set up so that they don't have that worry at the back of their mind constantly. It's like, where did it get this information? As long as you put it together properly.
Like I said, I've been using it quite a bit, and I see, like, when I have to check not our social media, the company I work for, their social media, and compared to other like travel agencies and travel tour operators, you can see who uses just AI generated stuff. You can hear the tone, you can hear it sounds like a machine, you know.
And it's becoming really clear that how people are starting to pick up the voice patterns or the word patterns that are coming out. It's not X, it's Y.
Yeah.
And the M dashes. And it's like, but the data doesn't say that.
Yes.
Those kinds of things. There's a lot of that's coming through. And unfortunately, a lot of what it's learning is coming from other posts that are being posted that are saying the same thing.
Yeah, but then that doesn't mean that it can't be changed either.
Totally.
So, I see it like this big, like, Play-Doh thing. It can be shaped into whatever it is that
absolutely
one needs.
So that's my story as to why and how and why I'm excited for people to learn more about AI.